Welcome to the Wednesday, January 7th, 2026 meeting of the Gloucester Conservation Commission. The time is just after 5:30, and we will start with a roll call of commissioners. Member Cook.
Here.
Sargent.
Here.
Liadis. Here. Thierry.
Here.
Jackson.
Here.
Right.
Okay. Sorry, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, first matter is administrative briefing. Anything to add, Chuck?
Nothing besides the obvious addition of our new member, Nick Giliadis.
That's right. Welcome, Nick.
Thanks. Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
I think we're gonna have a couple matters that are heard out of order today due to conflict with another commission meeting. So we'll get to those after we do public comment minutes. So if there's nothing else, Chuck, I think I'll close the administrative briefing.
Yeah, nothing else at this time.
Okay, we'll move to public comment session. This is the part of the meeting where the members of the public are welcome to ask questions or make comments about any matters that are not on the agenda tonight. Please raise your hand if you wish to speak.
We have 15 attendees on Zoom with no hands up, and we have nobody in person.
All right, I will close the public comment section. Next item is minutes review and approval. We have the minutes from the December 17th, 2025 meeting.
Commissioner Jackson moves to approve the December 17th, 2025 Conservation Commission meeting minutes as amended.
Commissioner Cook seconds.
We'll call Member Cook.
Yes.
Member Sargent.
Yes.
Liadis.
Yes.
Member Thierry.
Yes.
Member Jackson.
Yes.
Okay. Next item are two items of new business that are being heard out of order. The first item is RDA 1842 at 120 and 120R Wheeler Street. Christopher and Sarah Williams are the applicants. The project is for tree removal within riverfront area, land subject to coastal storm flowage, and buffer zone to coastal resource areas. Devin Tabor from Lucas Environmental LLC is representing. Do we want to hear this together with the one at 116 Wheeler?
I think it makes
Amen.
sense.
I think it makes sense as well. I really think that they're sort of part of the same project.
Great.
Devin, if you are okay with that, I will call the other one and we can review them together.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Okay. So the second item is NOI 028, no DEP number at 116 Wheeler Street. Kristen and Sarah Williams, again, are the applicants. This is for additions, deck expansion, elevated walkway, and hardscaping in riverfront area, land subject to coastal storm flowage and buffer zone of coastal resources. Again, Devin Tabor from Lucas Environmental LLC representing.
Great. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Devin Tabor from Lucas Environmental. First of all, I'd just like to thank you all for accommodating my schedule this evening. I'm hoping to keep, obviously, the presentation short, concise, and easily followed, and more importantly, get to questions at the end. Here with me tonight, I also have the project's architect, Will Rule, and the landscape designer, Hillary Holdsworth. If they could be added as panelists at some point, that would be great. They can speak to the structural details, and Hillary can provide further detail on the permeable landscaping and hardscape features, also the plant species selection as well. So we are here representing Christopher and Sarah Williams. I'm going to start off with the RDA and then get into the NOI, because the RDA is pretty straightforward. If the commission's okay with it, I'd like to share my screen.
Yep, that's fine. Please
Great.
do.
Okay. Okay, can you all see my screen? It should just be Google Earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. So I just wanted to bring this up. These are the properties along the Annisquam River, which some of the board members might be aware of the projects that were before the commission within the most recent years associated with 116 Wheeler, which I'll get to. But to just stay in order here, so this is 120 and 120R Wheeler, so two lots not owned by the applicants, Christopher and Cyril Williams. There are 4 total Norway maples that are on each of these properties that the applicants have asked for approval from the owners if they could remove those trees, and the owners have signed off, provided written authorization and associated with the WPA forms that I provided in the application, and they're okay with that. So what we're doing is we'd like to remove those 4 Norway maples as detailed in the RDA application, and then mitigate for that loss within the notice of intent application, which I'll go over next. But that kind of sums up the activity. I know that was kind of concise. I can also pull up pictures, which I provided in the application of those 4 trees, but they're fairly small. There's nothing they're not very huge or large in diameter. So nevertheless, when I preemptively poached this with Chuck, he said an RDA would be applicable here. Obviously, we're within the riverfront area and close to the coastal bank and land subject to coastal storm flowage. So I just wanted to make sure that this was submitted appropriately. So with that being said, I can take any questions regards to that, or we can wait until the end after I go over the NOI. I don't know how you want to handle that, Mr. Viteri.
Let's run through comments and then move to 116.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to just stop sharing my screen real quick and pull up the plans for 116.
Okay, sorry, I need to charge
That's
my
okay.
phone. Okay, we'll take public comments on the RDA. If
Okay.
any member of the public wish to comment on this project, please raise your hand.
We have 13 folks on the Zoom with no hands up and still nobody here in person.
Okay, we'll do commissioner comments.
Member Cook.
Well, we have 4 trees that are being removed, which would be 8 being replaced. We need to see something to show where they're being replaced at.
Member Sergeant.
I note that the beach plums are really not trees, but I'm okay because that seems to create the same habitat as the privet. I'd like a 2-year monitoring for the mortality of mitigation plantings. Thank you.
Really, Alex?
I noticed that the trees are going to be cut down to the stump, which is good, that you're not tearing out the bank to get at it, but those will sprout back real quick. Wonder if there's, they're going to be aware that they're going to have to keep pruning those as they sprout back up, those maples, and shoots fairly quickly.
Member Viteri.
So my thought on this is I think this really is not its own RDA. I think this really should be part of the NOI for 116. Part of the reason why I suggested we hear them all together. I guess my thinking on that is I don't think this activity on its own qualifies as a minor activity in a buffer zone or in the riverfront area. I think it's work that's located in a resource area. It's land such as coastal storm flowage. Again, it's in the riverfront area. I don't think it's a minor activity because I don't think just removing an invasive species on its own constitutes a minor activity under the regulations. I think it will have an effect on wildlife habitat functions by removing and altering the area by removing those trees. So I kind of think my instinct is kind of it would require a positive determination. And if that's the case, I think it just should be part of the 116 Wheeler NOI. Since it's clearly part of that project, it's the same applicant. The mitigation is being located on 116 Wheeler. The plan that was submitted with this RDA is for 116 Wheeler. NOIs can have work on other parcels. So I don't think it's an issue that, this is a different lot owned by somebody else. So that's kind of my thinking on that. In terms of looking at the entire project, I know you haven't presented on 116 yet, but, I don't really have an issue with the work being done. In total, I think the mitigation on 116 looks good. I think it's probably more than adequate to account for the alterations in the work on 116 and these 4 trees here as part of the RDA. I just think, filing wise, procedurally wise, I think it's one project and all in one thing. And I'm inclined to not see it as a minor activity, which if it was a minor activity, I could see this being a negative determination, but I think it's got to be a positive determination. And if it needs an NOI, probably should just be part of the 116 NOI. So that's where I'm thinking.
Member Jackson.
Thank you. I'm a little curious as to why you would be removing invasive species from somebody else's property, but that's not really an environmental issue particularly. Mr. Sargent's comment about beach plums not being considered trees, I think is on the point. And in fact, when Ms. Holworth lists the trees and the plants, she includes beach plums with the plants. However, beach plums can grow very large. I think they do provide a lot of habitat value, partly because of their shrub type characteristics. So those are my comments for that application.
Okay, Chuck, any comments from you?
No, I think the original intent of splitting them up was that I thought the work for the tree removal was going to happen far in advance of the NOI submittal, but they kind of came in together. So I think it is going to make sense to wrap them in together.
Can I comment on the commissioner's comment now, or do we go to public comment? I can't remember.
No, it's your turn. We already opened.
Oh, great.
Public.
So I did just want to note for the sprouting of the Norways, obviously there's going to be maintenance when it, because the area along the property line, which I'll get into, and Hillary can note too as well, will be significantly planted with native species. There's going to be hand pulling maintenance. The applicants and owners are diligent stewards of their property, and I don't doubt that they'd be able to maintain the invasive species management of the site itself. And then with regards to the minor activity and or the reasoning for why we came in with an RDA versus umbrellaing this with the NOI has to do with the owners and deeds. So like legality reasons, we were trying to submit a notice of intent where we'd have a later certificate of compliance, order of conditions would be kind of like a cloud over the adjacent abutters deeds as well. So that's why their properties weren't included in this application. If the commission really felt as though this should be looped under the NOI application, I can look at that in more detail, but I might need to speak with representation, whether that be an attorney, to see if that's appropriate. That's why we also separated out to Chuck's point. We were going to be submitting these at different time points, but we still intend to do the RDA work prior to the work associated with 116. So time frame wise, it's going to transpire beforehand still. So that's why we those are the two reasons why we came in with the applications the way that we did. So I think more or less with regards to the beach plums, you've kind of covered that, both commissioners, and Hillary can note on that as well. But I think that's what I can provide in response to the commissioners' concerns.
For recording purposes, it doesn't actually need to be recorded on both properties. It just needs to be recorded on one of the properties. So it wouldn't necessarily have to, impact the neighbor's deed. It's put on
Okay.
116.
Noted.
Yeah, my understanding with 116 is you don't have a DEP number yet, so we can't,
Right.
um,
Right.
yeah. So you're gonna have to come back anyway for the next meeting in order to deal with that. So you could probably take that time to consult with, whoever you need to consult with on that issue and, figure out how you want to do that, whether you want to keep them separate or kind of combine it, maybe amend the NOI for 116 to include this tree work or whoever. So I mean, you have some time, I think, in order to do that, unless you're really looking to get a decision on the RDA tonight, which we could, because that's sort of, ripe. We have all the EP number and everything for that.
Right. I think there's nothing going to be harmful to continuing the RDA, unless my client feels as though they want this done and completed this evening. Unfortunately, they're away. They are on the meeting, but I don't know. I'd have to take a brief call with them or recess with them to understand that. Nevertheless, I think it would be appropriate to move forward with a discussion on 116 if you're okay with that, and maybe I can get in touch with them, in the interim, or they can let me know if they're okay with continuing.
Looks like one of them has their hand up. If you want to let them
Oh,
know.
great. Perfect.
Hi, this is Chris Williams, owner of 116 Wheeler. Appreciate everyone's care and diligence on this. And Devin, I just wanted to let you know that we are fine with whatever process is mutually reasonable and efficient here. I think you rightly identified our major concern was entangling our neighbors in our project with deed restrictions on their properties. And they were naturally concerned about that. And so I think that's why we took that path. But if we're only having a deed restriction on 116, that does give us flexibility. And as owner, I'm willing to defer to the professionals involved on the correct course here. So no further opinion on that.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. I think to move things forward, why don't we continue the RDA? We'll confer with the two abutters, because I would assume that we'll need written authorization for us to do the work associated with the notice of intent versus us to do the work associated with an RDA. So I just want to make sure that's clean for everyone. And I think that's the best way forward here.
Do you want to continue to January 21st?
That would be appropriate, please. Thank you so much for asking.
Okay. Do you want me to continue that now, Peter, or wait until later?
Let's go through the 116 presentation and then we'll continue both of them together, since 116 is going to need to continue anyway.
Okay.
Great. If I may share my screen again.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Can you all see the site plan here before you?
Yes.
Great. So this is a notice of intent application. We are submitting this NOI representing Chris and Cyril Williams again for renovations at 116 Wheeler. Before diving into the current proposal, I'd like to just provide a brief overview of the site's recent permitting history, as I previously mentioned. So there was an RDA, RDA number 1791, which was issued in October of 2023 for a steel staircase and pervious paver driveway. While the driveway work remains valid, the stairway design has been modified and incorporated into this new NOI. And then also an order of conditions was issued in 2016 for an elevated walkway deck replacement, which received a full certificate of compliance in August of 2017. So the current project scope includes extending the existing deck, which will be here where my cursor is. Can you all see my cursor okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. And then along here off of the existing deck, adding an uncovered ramp and rebuilding a portion of the main dwelling within the existing footprint, which we can get into with Will if needed. So I'd like to also point out that we're replacing approximately 142 square feet of degraded stepping stones down here where my cursor is right now. Pretty close to the river's edge, of course, and within the coastal bank with an elevated 375 square foot permeable walkway. This walkway is hatched. As you can tell, it's kind of broken up into sections here. It'll be supported by pin posts embedded into the granite ledge. We did do kind of an alternatives analysis and evaluated the use of helical piles on this site, but it was determined that they're not feasible due to the shallow depth of the ledge. So I also want to note here, this is the staircase that was authorized under the RDA, which we modified as well, where my cursor is. So what we have for resource areas out here are the Annisquam River associated with riverfront area. We've got coastal bank. We do have a small, I think it's a 52 square foot patch of salt marsh habitat. This is such a small area, and it really, I'm surprised it's even here. It's right over ledge. It kind of just is a depression within the actual ledge face, but really I want to focus on the performance standards and compliance for coastal bank and riverfront area and land subject to coastal storm flowage. So how I think, and how our team believes we comply with the coastal bank is in some by elevating the new structures and removing the old ramps. We are achieving a net reduction of impact within the coastal bank by approximately 13 linear feet. For riverfront area, again, this is a redevelopment project of the site, which is already 35% degraded. While there's a minor increase by roughly 34 square feet of degraded area, we have provided a significant mitigation to offset this. And with regards to land subject to coastal storm flowage, all proposed work allows for free passage of water and will not increase the velocity or elevation of floodwaters. So I'll just dive really quickly into the mitigation, and then I'll punt it back to you guys. So we're proposing about 2,200 square feet of native plantings, focusing on 23 different species to replace existing invasive vegetation and just vegetation on the site. The impact ratio, this results kind of in I believe it's an 8.8 to 1 mitigation to impact ratio, which is well exceeding the standard for 2 to 1 requirements. In summary, the project restabilizes the site while significantly enhancing the protected resource areas and provides a hefty native restoration plan. So I'd like to ask the commissioners, if you have any questions, and Will and Hillary are on the call to also provide input.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll open to public comments and then commissioner comments. So any members of the public who wish to comment on this project, please raise your hand.
We have 13 attendees on Zoom with no hands up and none in person.
All right, commissioner comments.
Member Cook,
I don't have any comments at this time.
Member Sargent,
Yeah, there should be a 2-year monitoring for the mortality and mitigation plantings and a perpetual condition in the COC that prohibits further alteration within the mitigation area, except as may be required to maintain the area in its mitigated condition. And blasting is not allowed and all dewatering must be adequately treated before being discharged. Thank you.
Member Iliadis.
I had just a couple questions about the site plan. That little shed down by the water, that's getting replaced, correct?
That is, yeah, it's a small little like plastic shed
Is-
that they use for like their boat storage, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Is that, the square footage that's on there showing the shed, is that what's gonna be the new one, or is that what's there now?
That'll be the new one.
Okay. And, I'd be interested in seeing a detail of what that permeable walkway looks like.
Okay, we can provide that.
I have that. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, if I may interject, I can maybe help with that with two things. One is the mitigation planting is in addition to the beach plum trees, we have six eastern red cedar and 2 liquid ambar styraciflua, which is the sweet gum. So we've got that 2-to-1 covered in addition to the beach plum, in case that helps out. If you would like, I can share my screen. I have a detail on my plan that shows basically a profile of that flow through walkway that's planned. Is that
Yeah, let's see it.
okay? Let's do it. Where is it? Where is it? Night. Okay, great. Can everybody see this?
Yes.
Great. So this is basically just a profile as we understand it right now of how this will come together. I mean, I think Will could probably speak more in more detail about it. Basically, what you're going to see is like a fiberglass, and this image kind of helps with that a little bit. You can see it allows water and light through this system, and a minimum of pins because they overlap in some places. So the number of pins we have depicted is probably inaccurate. It's very likely to be fewer of them, pins or helical piles. So that, I don't know if that's of any use to you, but that's
Yeah,
as we
no, thank
understand
you.
it.
I was curious about what that top surface looked like.
Yeah. I think this is as near as we could get to sort of depicting what it would look like in our little goofy programs that we have here. That's the general idea.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay. My turn?
Were you done with your comments? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For comments. I have a couple questions. Well, one condition I'd like to see is that no landscaping boulders or any rocks or anything that's used for landscaping features or any patio use or patio features or seating or anything is taken from the intertidal area on the site. So we don't disturb that resource area. The question about those elevated or those permeable walkways is how high off the ground are they going to be, and are they going to allow vegetation to grow underneath them?
Let's see, hold on. We are imagining that I'll just look at my schematic here again. We're imagining they're going to vary from 6 inches to 2 feet above grade. The grade kind of goes up and down.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, the idea is just to allow anything and everything to grow underneath.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Member Jackson.
It's unusual for me to have the most questions, but here we go. At one point, you consider ledge to be degraded. I would argue with that. I don't think that meets the very vague DEP descriptions. And in repeating Mr. Viteri, I'd like to know the source of the large boulders which will be used for a seating area. In your narrative on page 2, paragraph 1, you refer to the riverfront area being significant for, and then you stop. So that needs to be completed. On the tree confusion versus beach plums, on the application for RDA 1842, you talk about having 1 sweet gum and 4 eastern red cedar. So if you could just reconcile the 2 applications for consistency, that would be helpful. On page 11 of your narrative, in number 2, paragraph 2, you talk about converting lawn to pervious pea stone, and it sounds like you're thinking that's an advantage. I'm not sure it is. I don't see why it would be more advantageous to have pea stone. You also talk about the redevelopment resulting in, and again, you don't finish your sentence. I'd love to know what the ending of that sentence is. And finally, on your NOI, filling in the blanks versus your narrative, when you're talking about riverfront area numbers, I cannot reconcile the 2. They seem to me to be very different. So if you could just check those out, and when we continue this, maybe you can explain to me why I'm not understanding it. There also seemed to be a walkway that had not been there a few years ago in your backyard. That kind of serpentine down to the dock, I think. I don't recall that was in your previous applications. So if we could address that, that finishes my questions.
Okay, Chuck, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think most of it was covered. I also had trouble, trying to figure out the degraded area. It's somewhat confused with, using also the term of disturbed, which isn't, something that's really defined under the act. So to do the calculations of what the ratio is of plantings versus new disturbed area, I think, DEP considers land that's under decks to be degraded. So I think they kind of probably consider the land, the area underneath these walkways to also be degraded. I don't believe the area where the new deck is going to be built is included in the degraded calculations. For me, it'd be helpful to have a area that kind of shows what you currently consider degraded and what's proposed to be degraded. I think as Member Thierry had mentioned previously, I think the numbers are there with the amount of vegetation you're proposing to cover the mitigation, but just getting the numbers straight is kind of a challenge on this one. The pathway that Member Jackson mentioned, let me see if I can pull up an image here. Too many windows open here. So this kind of wooden pathway that was put down looks like it was installed sometime between 2021 and 2023. That'd be kind of another area that would be considered degraded, but I don't believe that was permitted. I guess I was curious if that pathway was going to be removed once the new elevated path is installed.
For sure. Yep.
I would like to also know, if I may, is that all from you, Chuck? Sorry.
Yep.
So I kind of want to note on the disturbed versus degraded within the riverfront area, just for the record. While, 310 CMR doesn't, in terms of disturbed and degraded, describe conditions of resource areas as it describes what degraded is, but it doesn't describe what disturbed is. But disturbed would more or less be used to describe an area where soil and vegetation have been altered. So when we see like a manicured lawn, we usually count that as a disturbed area unless that lawn is filled with native or invasive non-native plants. So that's kind of where the calculations come from. Degraded is going to be anything that lacks topsoil, any sort of impervious structure, any sort of boulders out there, the discs out there, anything that's been as quote unquote as a structure. So impervious features are calculated into that, but I definitely hear the commission's concerns with regards to, well, what's what. I can make that clearer for you, but nevertheless, I acquiesce with what Chuck is saying, that we meet the standards and the ratio. We actually exceed those. So I just want to make sure that that's kind of on the record here.
Yes, and I'm not arguing that you don't meet the mitigation requirements. I'm more arguing for the sake.
No worry. No worries.
Yeah, I think what the commission wants to see is sort of a comparison plan that shows sort of existing degraded, disturbed, developed areas versus final conditions or proposed final conditions of what will be this degraded versus disturbed versus renaturalized or revegetated, as if you will. So if that can be done, I think we'd like to see that.
Yes, I will reach out to Dan Ottenheimer. As you all know, he is retired. He did say that he would be completing this for us, so I will get him on that as soon as I can.
All right, commissioners, do we have any other lingering questions that haven't been addressed?
I have none.
Nope.
Okay. So we have to continue for getting a DEP number, and there's a few other sort of pieces of items and materials that we want to address, and then there's the RDA question too as well. So I think we'll take a motion to continue both items, the RDA and this NOI.
Okay. Commissioner Jackson moves to continue RDA 1842 at 120 and 120 rear Wheeler Street, and to continue NOI 028 unassigned DEP number at 116 Wheeler Street to the Conservation Commission meeting of January 21st, 2026.
Commissioner Cook seconds both?
We'll call Member Cook,
Yes.
Sargent,
Yes.
Miliatis,
Yes.
Member Terry,
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Okay, Devin and Hillary, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Are you guys
commissioners.
are you guys all clear on everything for next meeting, or do you have any questions?
I think I'm all set. I just want to put together a formal response. We'll go back with our team, look at the calculations and any sort of revisions we can make. And then, I would like to know if the commission did want to schedule a site visit. I'm not too sure if you want to go out to the site, if it will be easier for you. I just don't want to have to do that later, especially as we get into more winter conditions. As it gets colder.
Understood. Commissioners, any interest in a site visit?
I have no need to go.
Nor do I. I'm very familiar with the property.
Great.
I'm all set.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good too. I think I have a good idea from the plans and the presentation.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you all so much for for hearing this out first. It was greatly appreciated and it won't be forgotten. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay,
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, back onto the agenda with continued business. The first item is NOI 0282976 at 171 and 281R Magnolia Avenue. How Mag LLC is the applicant. This matter was previously continued to February 4th, 2026. Next item, two that we've been taking together, NOI 0283006 at 105 Wingersheek Road and NOI 0283007 at 107 Wingersheek Road, both by 125 Wingersheek LLC applicant. These have been requested to continue to February 4th, 2026 as well.
Commissioner Jackson moves to continue NOI 0283006 at 105 Wingersheek Road and NOI 0283007 at 107 Wingersheek Road to the Conservation Commission meeting of February 4th, 2026.
Commissioner Cook seconds both.
Roll call, Member Cook.
Yes.
Sergeant.
Yes.
Uriadis.
Yes.
Member Terry.
Yes.
Member Jackson.
Yes.
Okay, next item, NOI 0283036 at 3, 6, and 7 Welch Lane and R. Woodman Street. The applicant is RDL Welch Lane LLC. This has been requested to continue to February 4th, 2026 as well.
Commissioner Jackson moves to continue NOI 0283036 at 3, 6, and 7 Welch Lane and Rear Woodman Street to the Conservation Commission meeting of February 4th, 2026.
Commissioner Cook seconds.
Roll call, Member Cook.
Yes.
Sergeant.
Abstain.
Uriadis.
Yes.
Member Terry.
Yes.
Member Jackson.
Yes.
Okay, next item, NOI 0283077 at 37 Massasoit Road. The applicant is Daniel Fonzie. I believe this has been requested to continue to the meeting of January 21st.
Commissioner Jackson moves to continue NOI 0283077 at 37 Massasoit Road to the Conservation Commission meeting of January 21st, 2026.
Commissioner Cook seconds.
Roll call, Member Cook.
Yes.
Member Sergeant.
Yes.
Member Uriadis.
Yes.
Member Terry.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Okay, next item, NOI 0283080 at 598 and 600 Essex Avenue. The applicant is Michael Oliver. This has been requested to continue to the meeting of February 4th.
Commissioner Jackson moves to continue NOI 0283080 at 598 and 600 Essex Avenue, the Conservation Commission meeting of February 4th, 2026.
Commissioner Cook seconds.
Roll call, Member Cook.
Yes.
Sergeant.
Yes.
Member Uriadis.
Yes.
Member Terry.
Yes.
Member Jackson.
Yes.
Okay, last item of continued business is NOI 0283102 at 49 Two Penny Lane. The applicant is Benjamin Bradley. Project is for the expansion, addition of second floor and stairway, and elevating a portion of a home in riverfront area, coastal dune, ACEC, land subject to coastal storm flowage, priority and estimated habitats of rare species, and buffer zone to ACEC. Matt McGowan from RRB Design and Build representing. Do we have a representative here today?
Looks like we have hand up here. Let's see if it's him.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here. I never did get a link or anything sent to me, so and I wasn't able to make it down there in person, so I was not able to join as so it's under a different computer. So the
Okay.
I have,
Can you give a name and address for the record?
yeah, it's Matt McGowan, and 49 Two Penny Lane in Gloucester, Mass. For the project.
So I think we were waiting for a response from Natural Heritage. I don't, have you gotten anything from them?
Chuck should have got an email earlier this afternoon, probably about I'm looking at it right now. Devin Harrington was trying to get everything out the best she could to you guys. Her email said, I'll do my best to get the MESA determination letter out today, but if it doesn't happen, feel free to forward this email as confirmation to the Gloucester Conservation Commission that the MESA determination letter will state the division has determined that this project will not adversely affect the actual resource area habitat of state, listed rare wildlife, that the project will not result in prohibited take of state listed rare species. So, and I did email that to Chuck earlier. I got an email from Chuck this morning, and I immediately called out to Devin because she was supposed to send me something earlier last week and send that over, and she forgot. And obviously with the holidays, that threw people off. So, but she sent that over today, and then so that's direct from her email, and I forwarded that directly to Chuck this afternoon about 3:15, something like that.
Okay, thank you. Chuck, did you get a chance to look at that?
I just pulled it up now. I did not see it earlier today, but yeah, it does state from Devin that there will not adversely affect and will not result in prohibited take of state listed rare species. I'm not sure if the letter will actually contain a time of year restriction or not. It doesn't specify on there. I'd have to check with Devin to see.
Okay. Okay, commissioners, I guess we'll do public comment and then commissioner comments and then circle back on that letter. So any members of the public who wish to comment on this project, please raise your hand.
We have 10 attendees and no hands up, and none here in person.
Oh, thank you. We'll close public comments and go to commissioner comments.
Member Cook.
I'm fine with accepting the email, and then as when the letter comes in, obviously anything additional, we'll just add to the conditions. I'm fine.
Member Sargent.
I agree with Commissioner Cook, but I would also not want to have the delineations of the resource areas, codified, within this application.
Member Viteri.
I agree with both Commissioner Cook and Commissioner Sargent. I think it's a good move to move forward on a condition that any conditions that are stated in the ultimate National Heritage Letter be included in the order of conditions. And I also think that we shouldn't be issuing any approval for a delineation. It's just an order of conditions for the work alone.
Member Jackson.
I agree with Mr. Cook and Mr. Sargent and Mr. Viteri. And really have no further comments.
Okay. Anything to add, Chuck?
No, we can certainly add a finding in there that the delineation was not approved as part of the approval of the NOI.
Just skipping it.
Yeah, I wasn't involved initially, so I'll decline to comment or vote on this.
Okay,
So we should move.
Okay,
all right. Commissioner Jackson moves to close the public hearing for NOI 0283102 at 49 Two Penny Lane.
Commissioner Cook seconds.
Roll call, member Cook,
Yes.
Sergeant,
Yes.
that. Member Materi,
yes,
member Jackson.
Yes. Commissioner Jackson moves to approve NOI 0283102 with aforementioned conditions, including that any conditions or caveats from National Heritage will be included in the order of conditions, and that this approval approves only the project and not the resource area delineations.
Commissioner Cook seconds.
Call, member Cook,
Yes.
Sergeant,
Yes.
Materi.
Yeah.
Member Jackson.
Yes.
okay, Mr. McGowan, you are all set. Thank you for your patience with us and your
Oh,
and your help.
always. Yeah, if I knew you guys were doing this in person, I'd be the only one sitting there. But I appreciate it. So on the timeline, I was speaking with Devin about this. Is I told her the fact that I know that certain species do start hatching and doing certain stuff during a certain portion of the year. I'd like to break this out prior to the end of winter season before any of that happens, and that's why she agreed that it was not going to affect anything. But I would if I delay it too much longer, and then I'd have to go a little bit more of a push on how much how much it would delay into time. So what do you think the timeline on getting the building started, just even framing up?
I'll contact Devin tomorrow and just make sure that she's not going to include, or if she does want to include, a time of year restriction. So we can kind of clear that up with Natural Heritage ASAP, and then we'll try to get permitting out probably by the end of this week. And then there's a 2-week appeals period. But you need to wait to start work. So
Right.
we'll try to expedite this one.
Yeah, hopefully by the end of January you could get started.
Well, that would be nice, but hopefully it starts warming up by then. Anyways, hey, happy New Year, guys, and hopefully you had good holidays, and I'm sure I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
Okay, moving to new business. Chuck, did the first item, Winger Street Beach item, are we do we have a formal submission on that, or are we sort of tabling that?
Yeah, we have not. He was rushing to get it in, and we thought he was going to have everything together. But at this point, we don't have a officially signed NOI. So I think because of that, maybe just consider it not late filing at this point. And keep it on the agenda in hopes that he gets it together before our next meeting on the 21st.
Okay, so we won't open the hearing on that one. We'll move to the second item.
Yep. All right.
There's no DEP number.
There's no DP number or anything, yeah. So
Yeah. All right. Second item in new business is NOI 028, no DEP number at 19 Russell Avenue. The City of Gloucester DPW is the applicant. The project is for vegetation removal and maintenance plan in a perennial stream and bordering vegetated wetland. Siobhan Callahan, City Environmental Engineer, representing.
I am not seeing Siobhan on the Zoom here, and I was under the impression she was actually going to be here in person. I don't know if you want to table this one, just to see if she shows up or not, but
Yeah, we'll table it, and move on to the next one. Third item of new business is NOI 028, no DEP number at 115 Wheeler Street. The applicants are Gordon and Melissa Massey. Project is for in addition to existing home in Riverfront area. John Judd from Gateway Consultants Incorporated representing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Happy New Year. For the record, John Judd, engineer with Gateway Consultants representing the applicant. What I can do is, if you'd like, I can bring up the plan showing the proposal at 115 Wheeler Street.
Yes, that's great.
Right, let me bring that up. And hopefully you can see this. Is that viewable?
Yep. I can see
Okay.
it.
Thank you. So we're on the opposite side of Wheeler Street from the river. This is an existing house here. There is a proposal to do a mudroom here, 15 foot by 7 feet here, and a proposed one-story addition here. That would be 12 feet by 27. This whole area right now is a packed gravel former patio. That's all the bricks have been removed, so it's basically all packed stone dust right here. And that is the proposal, is to do these two small additions to this pre-existing what I would call degraded site. It's a residential lot. We are proposing improving the riverfront area closest to the river, as we typically do, with proposing a rain garden here. You can see a detail here, as well as mitigation plantings, as shown. And we are also showing mitigation planting notes here, as well as the riverfront riparian calculations. We don't have a DEP file yet due to the file number yet, due to the check hasn't cleared for whatever reason. I'll call them tomorrow. There was some comments from DEP which we can address. They wanted the breakdown of the degraded areas, which we can add to the plan. I don't see any issue with that. But again, this is all basically a redevelopment project. All lawn right here. There's a pre-existing cobble driveway here, brick and cobble, and all on here. No trees to be removed, and we are improving both the riverfront area closest to the river. We're not going any closer to the river with the improvements, and we are adding drainage to enhance that riverfront area. I can answer any questions that you might have at this time.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll open it to public comments, and then we'll do commissioner comments. Any members of the public who wish to comment on this project, please raise your hand.
we currently have 8 attendees on Zoom with 1 hand up. Jerry Byrne.
Hi, name and address for the record.
Jerry, it looks like you are muted. Unmute.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Byrne, name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, Jerry Byrne. I live across the street at 114 Wheeler. And I'd just like to say that I support what Gordon and Melissa are going to do.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, commissioner comments.
Member Cook.
No, it looks fine to me. No issues.
Sergeant.
Yes, I'm glad you're going to respond to DEP's comments. All dewatering shall be adequately treated before being discharged, and there should be a 2-year monitoring for the mortality of mitigation plantings and a perpetual condition of the COC that prohibits further alteration within the mitigation area, except as may be required to maintain the area in its mitigated condition. Thank you.
Member Iliadis.
No, I think it looks pretty good. No comments.
Member Terry?
I didn't have a chance to see the DEP comments, but was there anything other than the graded area calculations? And I don't have anything other than that.
That's
Yes,
the
there-
really the extent. They did want to see some itemization of the plants. We do show that there's 27 plants in our mitigation notes, and we can break that down further for the revised plan showing those particular species. They did ask that we did mix in some herbaceous shrubs and also trees. They'd like to see it, and we do have that on the plan. But I'll be more specific on the revision.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Member Jackson?
I have no additional comments.
Hey, Chuck, anything to add?
Nothing on this one.
Okay, do you
All
want
right.
to continue to January 21st?
Yes, please.
Commissioner Jackson moves to continue NOI 028 unassigned DEP number at 115 Wheeler Street to the Conservation Commission meeting of January 21st, 2026.
Commissioner Cook seconds.
Call Member Cook?
Yes.
Sergeant?
Yes.
Rillianis?
Yes.
Member Terry?
Yes.
Member Jackson?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thanks. See you in 2 weeks. Okay. Is Siobhan there yet?
Does not look like she has joined, so, yep, I guess we should continue that one.
Okay. Commissioner Jackson moves to continue NOI 028 unassigned DEP number 19 Russell Avenue to the Conservation Commission meeting of January 21st, 2026.
Commissioner Cook seconds.
Call Member Cook? Oh, you're muted.
Yes.
Member Sergeant?
Yes.
Terry?
Yeah.
Rillianis?
Yes.
And Member Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is certificates of compliance. There's one for RCOC 0281933 at 3 Welch Lane for the ratification of an unissued 2016 certificate of compliance. I assume this is also being continued like the other Welch Lane project is being continued to February 4th.
I believe so. We haven't received any additional information that was going to be submitted for that one, so.
Okay. I don't think we need to vote to continue that, right?
No.
No.
Okay. Okay, violations, we have nothing listed on the agenda, but Chuck, I think you mentioned that there was a end of the year report submitted for Whistle Stop Way.
Yes.
I had a look at it. I thought it looked good. I didn't have any concerns or questions about it. I don't know if any other commissioners had any issues with it.
I had none.
I didn't have any.
I looked at it, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, it's, there's a lot of things that happen kind of late in the season. I'm kind of curious to see what happens in the spring.
Yeah, I think they're going to submit a report in the spring, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be good to kind of see how those plantings held up over the winter. All right.
And then we do have one item
Yep, go ahead.
on here. Member Sergeant had inquired last meeting. There were some other additional floats on the marsh that were mentioned during a previous violation. And when Katie and I were up there the other day, we did notice there were floats that were on the salt marsh behind, looks like 10 Kirk Road. I didn't know if the commission wanted to issue a notice of violation to them.
In the matter of being consistent,
How
probably should.
did you determine the address?
Just from visually seeing where they were, and then kind of based on aerial images of where the docks are extend from the bank. It's right behind that house. So it appears to be on their property and extending from their property.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, as Commissioner Jackson mentioned, to be consistent, I think this is an issue that's pretty widespread that, whenever we find something, we should probably try to address it. So I think issuing a notice of violation is a good step to get them to come to a hearing and, sort of discuss it with them and let them know it. At least maybe look into sort of what, if there's Chapter 91 conditions or anything like there was in the last matter, and at least get them to see if we can discuss any kind of way to remove them from a resource area.
Yeah, just for your visual, it's this set of floats here, and this is Ten Kirk, and then other images. It kind of ends out, presumably their lot line kind of heads down this way.
Do you
Looks like it's kind of impacting the marsh too in that area, so I'm not sure if there's really standoffs or anything.
Is there any way for us to tell if there's a prior order of conditions or a Chapter 91 license for this property?
So we looked, there was no order of conditions or filing for the floats. I think there was an RDA for another non-related item. I did check what I have as far as Chapter 91, and it didn't appear that there's any Chapter 91, but I haven't heard back yet from DEP Waterways. See if there's something that they have that's not listed on what they've provided previously.
Okay. Well, I think any a notice of violation should surface some of that stuff.
That's all I have.
Do we need to vote on issuing a notice, or is that something you can do administratively?
We often do it administratively, but you want to vote on it? That works as well.
No, just wait to see what you get from the waterways, see if there's, what they have and what they don't have. And then when you get that and you feel we're ready, just go ahead and issue the enforcement order and we can address it.
It works.
Yeah, I mean, the notice is preliminary to a formal enforcement order, but I think it gets the point across and it gets them to show up to a meeting, I think. So I think that's good. Chuck, whatever you feel comfortable doing it too.
That's good.
All right.
Commissioner Jackson.
Anything else? Okay.
Commissioner Jackson moves to adjourn.
Well, you need me to second that? Okay.
Somebody. We can sit here.
Commissioner Cook seconds.
All right, roll call. Member Cook.
Yes.
Sergeant.
Yes.
Member Addis.
Yes.
Member Terry.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
I can leave the Zoom running if you want to sit here, Dave.